Good afternoon. It is time for me to make lunch. I am going to be making it from the HCG Diet Gourmet Cookbook. And I'm going to be making some chicken tacos. And it is going to be your one protein and one vegetable that you're supposed to have for lunch. It's 25 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, and 155 calories. So really, really good. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. What we're going to need is 100 grams of chicken breast. And that is before it is cooked, or you can use ground chicken, which I'm going to be using. A way to find out is I got this little thing right here. It's about 2 ounces. You can do ounces, grams, or pounds on this, but I think 100 grams is 2 ounces. But I'll go ahead and definitely look for you. 1/4 cup of water or chicken broth. I'm going to use water because the chicken broth that I have has sugar in it, and we're trying to stay away from sugar. 1 tablespoon of onion, 1 garlic clove, 1/8 teaspoon of oregano, but I don't really like oregano, so I'm going to use rubbed sage. Cayenne, and I'm not a big cayenne pepper either, so I'm going to do chili powder. A pinch of cumin, fresh cilantro. I'm not using fresh, I'm just using the seasoning that I have, and some large lettuce leaves. So let me go ahead and get the chicken and we'll get started. Okay, so first off, here's the chicken that I got. And I got it from Publix for $5.34, and it is about 1 pound. So, and I'm going to cook extra because I am going to make some for my husband. So I'll weigh my portion out and kind of cook mine a little separately because I might add a little more seasonings in his than mine. I'm going to have to move this out of the way. I'm going to turn this on, my little scale on. See, this shows how many pounds, how many grams. It says I need 100 grams. Okay, so 100 grams, just to show you, is about that. We're looking at, measuring wise, what can fit in your hand, in a little ball in your hand. That is about what you're allowed. And this is what is left of the 1 pound. So you can actually cook this up, and you can have make a whole bunch of it, and you can eat it for different meals. So you can kind of, if you're not cooking for anyone else, if they don't want the same thing you're having. So let me go ahead and wash my hands real quick. Okay, I am back. So now what I'm going to be doing is getting the frying pan, and I'll bring you over while I cook it up. Okay. So I got 2 different size frying pans. That way I can fry mine in one and my husband's in the other. Alright, so we're going to cook, we're going to get the 4th cup of water for the chicken, and we're going to cook that with the chicken. But I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not using chicken breast, is just go ahead and actually just cook the chicken without any liquid right now. And once it starts cooking up, since it's kind of like ground hamburger, you don't really put water with it. So let's see. We're going to start getting that cooked up. Okay. Now I'll bring you back here, and while we are cooking the chicken on the stove, we'll go ahead and prepare these spices and everything that we're going to need. Okay, so go ahead and get your cutting knife of choice, and you're going to want about a tablespoon, I believe, of onion chopped up. Let's go ahead and get that chopped. I don't really like my onion too thick, so all right. Not claiming to be any kind of chef here, so bear with me. Now about a tablespoon, I'd call it. Probably about like the palm size of your hand. It's about a tablespoon. So we're going to set that in a little container. Makes it a little easier. And then I'll get a container for the other chicken tacos. Clean up real quick. Now it says we need garlic, so we need about 1 clove garlic. So I'm going to just stir this chicken up over here. Make sure it doesn't stick to your pan. Okay. I'm going to turn that down to about 6 on the stove, a little more than medium. Now we're going to go ahead and get the garlic, which is right here. And on the, I have the pre-minced garlic, if you don't have the fresh garlic. And it says 1 tablespoon. Says a half a teaspoon equals about 1 clove of garlic. So half a teaspoon. So we get that half a teaspoon. Measure that out. Alright, and put it in here. And I'm probably going to do 2 of those in the other one for the family. Stir up this chicken over here again. Okay. Now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and get the spices. Now it's saying An eighth teaspoon of oregano. So get that eighth teaspoon of sage that I'm going to use instead because that's what I prefer. And then I'm going to put a fourth in with my husband's. And then we're going to do cayenne pepper. So I'm going to use, and that's just to taste, so I'm just going to use some chili powder because that's what I prefer. So, and I like mine on the spicier side. And then we're going to do a pinch of cumin. So I kind of like a little more cumin. I love the flavor of it. Alright. And we're going to do some cilantro. It calls for fresh, but I'm just going to use what I have. It's all about saving money where you can. Alright, and I'm going to stir this back up over here. And the chicken looks like it is almost done. Remember, it's chicken, so you want to make sure that it is cooked all the way. Alright, that is almost done. Once we do this and it gets mostly cooked, I'm going to go ahead and add the water, or you can use chicken broth, but make sure that it doesn't really have sugar in it because that's what you're trying to avoid. Okay, so it calls for a fourth cup of water. So go ahead, get my measuring cup out, and get fourth cup of water. And remember that one's going to go in with that, and then do about a half a cup for the remainder. Okay, so we're going to let that simmer a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemon also for a little bit of flavor to the broth, I guess. Okay, now it's saying that you can top with salsa. And you can use, depending on how many calories that you want to do, but Sadie's salsa is a very low calorie one, but I'm just going to use regular paste. It only has 10 calories, I believe. Let me go ahead and grab that out of the refrigerator. I'm going to use the paste picante, and it says 10 calories for 2 tablespoons, so that's probably what I'll go ahead and do. It doesn't say anything about sugar, so that's really good. So it looks like this will be a good choice for us. Okay, now that we have the water and with the chicken, and the chicken's just about done, we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings and our onions and everything to it. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, and then the other one. Remember that these seasonings are just with the recipe. If you mix this up and you notice that, hey, it really needs some more seasoning, don't be afraid to add it because it doesn't have any calories. Seasonings these seasonings that we're using are calorie free, so you can add more or take away from it depending on what you like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to taste it up first. And then decide whether or not I need to add more. So I'm just going off this recipe for now.